Ryuko has gotten herself into a very, very sticky situation. Potentially. We have to see how it gets played out with having to go up against a 4v1 basically here, one at a time, of course, but this could be extremely unfair. Doing back to back fights. So to come out on top is probably going to be extremely unlikely, unless she needs to just clear one for victory. But my understanding was it's supposed to be all. So I don't know what's about to happen here. It doesn't make much sense in my eyes that she wins because like we haven't done anything to build her up that she could. Everything that we've seen from the last fight that she really had that was like this, she basically would have lost if they didn't have a malfunction on their end, So I'm not seeing a world where it makes much sense for her just to come out and then be stronger now while we haven't seen her participating in any of these fights or anything really, to allow that to happen. So unless we're counting like all of the fighting that she did while the whole arc with like Mako and her family was going on, but even then that's like weak opponents. I don't know how much like and training off of them realistically helps you in the long run. So I don't know. We'll end up seeing though, but things started getting really intense and very hype. So I'm hoping for just an action-filled, fun episode here. But we'll end up seeing. Hopefully, she can win, get to the top, and answer some questions about Satsuki, and maybe open up, or from Satsuki, and maybe open up the world so much more to other things outside of what we know now. Maybe, hopeful, I guess. We'll see. Hopefully you enjoy. If you like it all, like and subscribe. That feel free to stick around for the discussion. Leave the comments with this better series. Let's get going with episode 9. The stage is set. So unfair. He did say their battle will take place elsewhere. This is my boy. I don't want to see him lose. So he decided it on his own. All at once, probably not smart. By who? Oh, I did notice though. I didn't think much of it. Work your way up instead of just putting a stop to it at first. I worked too hard, damn it. Any minute now. Where's the clock? It's on the... Follow the rules. Yes. Yes. What a guy. You have everyone time to go watch. Man, we got this thing televised. This is a big deal. I don't got a job or nothing, or somewhere to go, Doesn't work. No. Yeah, that sometimes that works. There you go. Seems to be nothing in there. Okay. Yeah, huh. Weird. Quick, you're running out of time. Imagine stealing the product for just to not even exist. Thank you, Mako. What do you got for us? You can just do that? What?
四天王は他の部長とはレベルが違う。それが4人連続なんて無理をすると、君と先決に何が起こるかわからん。
あんたが全部話してくれんのか？父さんがなぜ殺されたのか。
Yeah, if you explain all this now, I have no reason to fight.
無理だ。
だったら黙って見てな。私と先決が桐生院サスケを倒す。そしてあいつの口から聞き出す。私の手でね。早くマコの意識を戻してくれ。こいつと話して
She looks so peaceful, though.
気になるんだ。
私断然応援するんです。だって友達だもん。
Her time literally just froze.
まあ無理しないでね。
It's time, baby. It's time.
おい、先決。どうした？
You don't sound like confident here.
何
Can you gotta be honest with us, yeah. Can't be hiding things.
戦いに集中してくれ。
わかってる。
Wonder if the transformation already today is something that'll be a negative here. Holy aura. He looks so fucking stupid. I love him though. I love him.
おい、
あ、
やる気あるのか。
当然。
だったらなぜ攻撃してこない。
Because you're just gonna use it to your advantage.
言われた言葉を返すよ。お前バカだろ。
何？
お前の極征服が自分への攻撃パ
Right.
ワーを溜め込んで相手に返すことは分かってるんだ。
So why would I ever attack you?
ないだろうが。
なるほど。やはり貴様はバカだな。
なんだと？
その程度のことを考えない俺だと思うか。
We got other abilities. Don't even worry about it.
誰も俺を責めなくても、俺が俺を責める。自分の技で自分を責める。責めて責め。
What a weirdo. I'll just punish myself. Don't even worry about it. Yeah. Good for you, dude.
三つ星極征服、しばきの僧。
If it's that easy, why do you make them attack you? I guess to wear them down.
我慢比べは無駄なことが分かっただろう。さあ次はどうする。
For a second, just thinking it through.
成功法でいく。必殺戦意喪失。あれ？
You spammed it against all the weak ones.
表面には生命繊維がない。
生命繊維を吸収したければこの布の鎧を切り裂き本体までこの刃を突き立てる。
Bro, special power is layers.
一気に中まで切ればいい。
大丈夫よ。優子ちゃんは
Right, that's all she needs. Thanks for
負け
that.
るわけでね。
What did you put in there?
カムイだ。
He could so easily just knock her out of here if he wanted to.
手応えないじゃない。
マトイ、ガマゴーリという男の覚悟、半端ではないぞ。
Man, he did stay behind years.
からでこの学校を支配しようとするのなら俺は何としても止める。それが俺がこの学校でしなければならない最後の仕事だ。うわー
More than usual. Even then.
全身に鉄の鎧か。
勝てないが負けもしない。
なんだと？
お前に俺をひざまずかせることはできない。お前が力でこの学校を屈服させるつもりなら俺はそれを全て受けてみせる。力では決して屈しない存在があるということをお前に見せてやる。それが俺の覚悟だ。
What a guy.
行うは肩。
Yeah, a lot more difficult today. No. Stand strong, brother. You can't fall.
ひざまずか絶対に絶対にひざまずか
Hmm.
貴様の覚悟確かに見届けた。私と共に来てくれ。そして私の盾となってくれ。
何を考えているあなたは
私はこの世界のすべてと戦い、すべてを作り直す。その一歩として2年後、新しい高校を作る。私の軍団となる高校だ。そこに来れば、貴様は新しい力を手に入れることができる。
It's enough for him to buy in.
分かった2年待とう貴様の戦いは何のためだ父親を殺された怒りか小さいぞ小さい小さい貴様のように支援で挑
Hmm. Just call it all out.
さつき様だけではないこの俺も倒すことはできん
And the camera. Why do they have to do it like that?
かなり厳しいけどな。ルイのはお前の運だよ。私と戦う羽目になったお前のな。
とうとう判断力が停止したかな。
You're gonna put her down? I guess he could use it for him, but I assume that he would stop her here.
てめえなんかに負けてじゃ、いつまで経っても父さんの敵にたどり着かねえんだよ。
武器部委員長ガマゴーリーら己を縛りムチ打ちきつく戒めることで生徒の
Only getting bigger.
俺の振り見て我が振り直せ自らの襟を正す本能寺学園の生徒たちの自主性に規律を託すその思いの結実が縛りの層であるそしてそれでも分からぬ者には涙を飲んで粛清の
This guy's fucking insane,
これ
dude.
が縛りの層である
Like,
その愛の鞭をここまで拒否するならば仕方ないしばきの層の本当の恐ろしさ見せてやろうまとい
how many layers does brother got?
とことん肩にはめてやる大体なんだ貴様はセーラー服を改造してそんなハレンチな格好にしてまさに不良まさに偽だ気をつかんで動揺したかさあまとい流行今俺が肩にはめてやる
Jesus fuck, brother.
される正しき女子高生像気持ちを正すにはまず形からこの型を食らって反省するがいいあがけあがけ
あれじゃまるで人間最悪だよ
俺は諦めない
It's a beautiful way to put it, Maka. Thank you.
お前を正す型にはめてはめつけて
He will do his job properly.
時に何当たり前のこと聞いてくる。
だったら私に考えがある。
さっき考えてたことか。
任せてくれるか。
わかった。
変身解除した時の力でリングから抜けたか。でもそれじゃ勝ち目はない。
ほう俺の言葉が通じたか少しはまともな姿に戻ったようだな
誰がお前なんかにこの変態野郎。
ならば究極の愛の鞭を味わえ
Excuse me? Yeah, I'd do that too, Maka. Where did that just come from?
苦しいかだが肩立ちばさみのないお前に反撃する手段はない
あらら決まっちゃった
カムイのデータが欲しかったんだけどな。
これは
ガマゴーリ愚かな。
While still on the form, able to pierce through the inside. Okay, we're just leveling up. Not my goat. No.
狙い通りだったな鮮血。
極征服が変形するなら私
Can we back out of the other fights though? It's not looking pretty into 3 more.
による形状変化まで得得するとはさすがだよ龍子君。けど素直には喜べないな。
無様なりかまゴーリーラ
Oh, there.
分の涙は自分で拭え。まだひざまずくには早い。
It's like no one even knew she was there.
とりあえず一人倒したぜ桐生。
ということは
あ、
次の相手は俺ということになるね。マトイ君、時間のロスは俺も嫌いなんだ。
A huge victory for Ryuko, taking the classic formula and strategy of if you're about to die, just pull a new move out, you know? It's bound to work. Just pull out some form that never been seen before. It's bound to work and allow you to be victorious. She comes out on top here, which is a surprise, but not at the same time, right? Surprise in the sense of I went into the episode kind of assuming that she would have to lose based on them not showcasing us anything that would provide reason as to why she could win. And I stand strongly by that still, as throughout the entire fight, there was no reason provided still that she should have been able to win outside of a last minute, let's just show you that we can evolve things further, which is technically something that was hinted in a way in the previous episode. But being able to allow us to be showcased this Sengetsu is fully capable of utilizing and doing this as well, allows us to pull something out last minute and be like, oh, here's my new form, here's the new thing that'll take over and allow us to be victorious within this battle. So it does leave concern though going forward, as we were able to come out on top. And while it became painfully obvious very early into the fight that this was the direction that was going to be happening, because like, let's be real, you don't get your ass kicked for 95% of the fight just to lose. Like, they wouldn't showcase it like that nobody ever does that, you know? So of course something was going to be pulled out that we were able to do by the end. But it does leave me, I think, like, under the assumption that it doesn't make too much sense for her to win the next fight because of not wanting to take a break, having this ultra confidence in what you're actually capable of, the overutilization on making Sengetsu transform, and like your transformations and stuff that you've been doing multiple points throughout this day, as well as different, you know, versions and forms that he's able to take. You just assume it all adds up at a certain point. And I think they also build it to a point where, of the 4, we're aware of what 2 of them were kind of capable of prior to getting into this. So we end up facing one of them, defeating them at the beginning. The other one that we probably would have lost to is on the complete other end. We have to get to him last. And while the girl who's like the conductor in a way of all this is third, we haven't seen a lot, but we've seen a little in regards to her and what she's capable of. Not too much, but we did see a bit. So giving us the whatever the fuck brother's name is that just came in with the blue hair as our next opponent, it would make the most sense to be we haven't introduced him as like a real threat or like showcased that side of him yet. So allowing us to lose to that version. So then it's like almost we gave characterization to like all the members at this point, I think would work itself out to be pretty nice. But they also, I guess, could just follow the path of we're just going to get through until the end, and then we have a full rematch with where we should have lost and who actually lost, and then seeing who can kind of like counter based on the previous 2 battles that we essentially had. But I think I would bank more on the idea that we probably would end up losing the next battle. But I guess we'll wait that out and see. I think, overall conflicted on just my overall feelings towards the episode. I think it's more comes from I had certain expectations for what we were getting into and what the fight was going to be, and they just didn't do that at all. It was kind of not that fun for me to watch, I'll be honest. Like, I didn't find most of the, I think like some of the comedy stuff was good that was mixed within it, with Gamagori still being like as much of a masochist and everything as I love about him. But the overall move set of us just kind of sitting there and watching Ryuko have to like battle through these things and getting constantly like slapped around by it was pretty repetitive and just uninspired to me. It just felt very boring and generic. And then it felt like we were building something to try and build tension, like, oh, she's going to lose, when it's painfully obvious that she was going to be able to pull something out towards the end to be able to win. It just feels too generic in a way. It's something that is kind of unfortunate because I felt like the build up for what Gamagori was going to be got me really excited for the fight, and we just didn't end up getting that. I came out of the previous fight that we had with one of the four to be like, oh, this is really fucking cool. Like we're headed in a direction where we are showcasing the actual strength and how special these kind of people are. And it really made you be like, holy shit, like we are building it to a point that she can lose, and she just got lucky this one or two times, right? But now being able to put us in a situation where it's like not even she got lucky, but she outsmarted the other opponent based on something that she wasn't even fully thinking through, and giving Sengetsu like the full opportunity to do it himself. I mean, it's cool for overall like growth and understanding on where we can head going into the future, and for giving a little bit more to Sengetsu as a being, I guess, outside of just a uniform himself. But I think like in the sense of where I was expecting the fight to be fun and just entertaining and creative on Gamagori's end, it wound up being underwhelming, and especially on Ryuko's showing absolutely like zero kind of intelligence throughout the entire time, just to ultimately rely on Sengetsu to do something and not really seem like she was like trying anything new or thinking of anything that was semi-creative to pull out here. Just felt kind of really underwhelming to me. So I don't know. It's a little weird of a feeling, I think. But to be fair, that's kind of something that happens with a lot of these series, where I just don't particularly love a lot of the action sequences. Like they're really cool on animation front, or just whatever it is, like visually trying to be fun with some of the stuff they do, but the ultimate like predictability or just like actual like sequencing of the fight is just kind of boring sometimes for me. And I struggle to get really like invested and hyped for it. So maybe it's a strong personal thing at that point. But I am left a little, I think, underwhelmed for what I went into the episode last time. Like I came out of it like, holy fuck, this was a really cool setup and build up for it, and giving so much characterization to Gamagori in the last episode that got me excited for what was to come, just to not really feel that energy once again this episode. So I don't know. I think the delaying it to ultimately build up hype and build up a second time here throughout the episode I think is like a really excellent decision for them to make here. And for us to progress a little longer to also give like this viewing spectacle for everybody else, and set up a few things kind of in between to pad out the time that's going to take before, so that you don't have to make the fight sequence even longer either, is good. And it provides a little bit more for us to have this conversation here. As our boy Mikasugi comes through and decides to let us know we should probably back out from what's happening due to how strong these members realistically are. I love how you can just freeze Mako and be able to do this. He's becoming more and more suspicious. At first, I thought he was I'm the guy who kind of like worked under, who like really wants to see you succeed in what you're doing and is looking out for you and your best interests all around. And while he still, I think, tries to display himself to be that, I am seemingly growing cautious of like any efforts or like positive attempts that Ryuko seemingly is trying to make here at uncovering things. He seems to want to put a stop to it more and just delay that, which then makes him a lot more suspicious for potentially being like involved in the overall planning or actual like killing potentially of her father, which would be like really unfortunate, but it wouldn't be like the first time that you've seen somebody, trying to help you, or being like somebody who is underneath someone above them and then trying to either be jealous, or you want to take credit for the thing they do, or you're just working secretly kind of against them to obtain the things that they are working on, or put a stop to what they actually are. And you'll be like the least suspicious due to your significant time being like around them or your ties to it. I think could make plenty of sense for it to be the case. Like if you really wanted us to stop this, you could just tell us every single thing of information you know, and your reasoning for like I can't do that. Just like what is the fuck does that mean? Like I would listen to you and I would have no motive to continue this fight that I'm working on here if you just came clean with it. So he's clearly either involved in a way or involved in the sense that he knows something that he thinks would be too much for her to handle had she come across like that information and doesn't want her to find out, because then it's just gonna spring her into like more dangers and stuff going into the future. So it's still the teetering between the I'm not actually on your side or like I am trying to look out for you and this is in your best interest to not really uncover or know any of this stuff. Hence me trying to like stunt any attempts that you make to actually progress and do this. We'll have to end up seeing a little bit more, but to come out of this and think he solely has positive intentions, I don't know if I necessarily do that or necessarily feel that, I guess. And here we go. We build this up. His transformation's really fucking cool. I like it. I think it's pretty clever how he doesn't do anything and he's like, oh, don't worry, I can just inflict pain directly on myself. I think is really funny. And then we just kind of continue the ass whipping the entire time where she pulls out all the same things that we're kind of familiar with in a way, and nothing is realistically working for her at all. That's where the fight, I think, evolves to being like a little just boring to me, as it, for the most part, just consists of exactly what we're almost aware of. Occasional transformations and new abilities and stuff taken out on his part, and those things are like fun to see end up coming out, but it's just the overall like intelligence of it. It almost feels like we're just overwhelming you with like what we're capable of as an ability, and she's just sitting there defending and not realistically doing anything to counter that in a way or try and find that counter. It just, I don't know, isn't the strongest to me. And I love this. It gives so much more depth to Satsuki and even Gamagori, I guess, here, but providing that she cares so much about the general resolve of these people and valuing strength within that as opposed to what one typically would consider to be physical strength or intelligence or whatever it is. And we once again get to see that later when he goes out of his way to even try and fucking kill himself by the end for the loss that he does, thinking that he is a loser and was defeated and has no right to basically kind of like serve under her or be alive or anything and be her shield here. But she's still seeing that value fully in the resolve that he has showcased numerous times, and even the display that he was able to put on there. It's such a weird thing because it makes you be like, she is fully okay with you not being like the winner that like you'd expect, right? So her as a leader is such a intriguing thing that continues to get built up here that I really like, because you'd assume she has like these really negative like motives and stuff, but it's even this guy as pure as he kind of acted here was willingly just like, yeah, I got you. I'll go directly with you here. Like I'll follow everything that you do for creating this new world in a way that you're trying to. Like you'd think a guy like that would probably follow along with her, probably not, you know? So it has to have some real strong selling points in a way here. Like just, it's gags like this. They're just so funny to me. And everything just basically goes wrong. She's capable of absolutely nothing. He thinks about stepping in here, and I don't know if it's I'm going to put a stop to Riku from doing things and end this, or if he's trying to be helpful once again. He just keeps walking the line of me not being able to get that full read that I want. This is fun, like once again, another transformation and then seeing that stuff come out, but even then, in the middle of this, it just turns into her standing around and not being able to do anything. Until Sengetsu's like, fuck it, if he's able to do this without any of the life fibers and everything, fuck it, I'm doing it. Like I'm gonna figure this out. Let me pull this out. So one, smart on his end to be able to transform back out and allow us to utilize the force that comes with it to be freed. And then when we get taken in, to be able to try and be like, fuck it, let me try my own ends here at a transformation and getting a full new version of Ryuko here with or Sengetsu, I guess, with his blade flash, which is pretty cool. Something to counter it and not be something that we just fully expected up to that point by any of the characters that were going against her, results in a overall victory for her. Trying to kill yourself and put a stop to it. It's fun too how much they really value and care about what they're doing in their positions that they're in, that they're willing to go to the extremes that they are. Like one brother lost his eyesight, the other one, like he's trying to kill himself. Like everybody's in a bad. Like they really can't handle loss well, and I think it's just because of the way that they've been brought up and how much they really admire and want to be able to like protect her and almost feel undeserving of that kind of role or position due to the outcomes of whatever happens here, which is fun. And I love that she's fully okay with it though, and keeps them on board. It's too early to kneel in defeat, even though he technically loses in a way here. You still don't kneel towards the end. There's still so much more for us in a way, and these people are still part of the team. So even if you're not able to, others might be able to hold strong and be able to do something. And a new opponent arises, somebody that we are not familiar with and what he's capable of really at all, which will be interesting to see how they kind of balance that. Because I do think the Gamagori stuff is fun because we do have a little bit of background on where he came from and knowing of him and even seeing him on his day off and just being a good dude in general. So it makes it like you don't want him to lose. Like I'm rooting for him actively throughout this to not end up losing, which is like not something that you, of course, typically have with a villain. So being able to have that is fun, or what I'm going to call a villain, an antagonist here, I guess. But it's fun because now we're going to go into somebody that we have no clue about anything of. So there is no prior build up in a way, so we have to form that all in the middle of the fight while potentially just kind of rooting for Ryuko instead here. Is just such a little fun contrast to it. Just an action-packed episode for the most part, and we move forward into stage number 2. If we somehow win all of these, I'm assuming each of them consist of an entire full episode apiece. If we don't, I kind of just feel like we probably end up losing this next one, but if they don't, I really don't know what the fuck they got planned at that point. And we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed though. If you liked it, I'll hit the like and subscribe. Now it's my feel free to check out the channel, leave a comment for this sort of series. I'll be back for episode 10 very soon. I hope you guys have a great one though. Peace.